up, everyone? It's Ava and welcome to Ava's Flair. If you watched my previous video, I showed you how I took two Dollar Tree tank tops and I was supposed to be turning them into a Dollar Tree DIY top. Well, here's the tutorial of the top. Now, if you're new here, I am not a professional. I am not a professional sewer. I am just someone who loves crafting, who loves expanding their imagination, and of course, I do have a deep down passion for fashion. Stay tuned, y'all. You're gonna love this one. I love this top because you can dress it up to go out on a date night, or else you can dress it down, or more simple for business attire or business wear. And this is how it looked before I did anything to it. This is only one tank top. Of course, I didn't put on both of them. Now, overall, y'all, this is going to be an easy tutorial. All you really need is a lot of imagination. And if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure that you have some type of imagination. You have all of the supplies that you need. Other than the two tops or tank tops that I purchased from Dollar Tree, you'll only be spending $2.50 plus tax. Where can you get a shirt that's made like this for $2.50? I'll wait. So the items that you'll need are scissors, pins. Sewing machine is optional, but it does help. If not, of course, you'll need needle and thread. And like I keep telling y'all, imagination. I use the dress form as well, but if you don't have it, you don't really need it. I started off with whatever tank top that I thought looked the best. That would be the main portion of my top. I did get them in a size small, so both of these tank tops are in a size small. Now, normally I don't fit into a small, but I looked at it, fairly well in Dollar Tree, and I knew that it would fit. And it did. It has a nice snug fit to it. And I'll show you how I styled it in my next short video, so stay tuned for that. Start off with your first tank top, and like I said, that's going to be your bodice. Take your second tank top and you want to flip it upside down so that the bottom of the tank top will be on whatever sleeve that you decide on. Of course, I went with my right. This is my right sleeve. Only did one. If you want to, you can do two. Use your imagination. You could do two. You could have done something more to cinch in the bottom, which I did not do. It's up to you. In these clips that you're seeing right now, I did have the tank tops on wrong on the dress form, but make sure when you're starting to pin everything down that your first tank top, or the tank top that's going to go across your actual body, make sure that is on the right way where the tag is tucked in, how you would wear it out. Make sure it's like that. Before you begin to gather, measure your seams. So you should be able to see in this clip, but if not, I'm going to show you right here. I have a seam that's coming off my first tank top right here. And on my second tank top, I have another seam right here. So I made sure that both of these seams would match up. And I did the same thing at the bottom as well. Made sure that the seams would match up. I did decide to hand stitch this next step just because it was a little bit simpler and easier for me, as well as I didn't have my sewing machine out at the time. So what I did is you were going to need to gather. So what I did is I just loosely sewed all around the perimeter of the bottom of the tank top. I made sure not to go past, this is important, I made sure not to go past the stitching that was already on the bottom of the tank top, because I will be using that as well as the other tank top. Use that as my guide to go around so that it won't have 2 and 3 different seams that you can see after your top is completely finished. What's going to happen is when you pull your fabric closer together, it's going to make a gather, such as with a curtain. If you put a curtain on a rod, you scrunch the curtain over and it's gonna be gathered on one side of the rod. So it's the same concept, but I'm using a needle and thread to do it. Now, the portion that I did under my arm, I did leave that ungathered just because that's what I wanted. I wanted a very dramatic top of the sleeve to be very gathered and flowy looking, so I didn't concentrate under the bottom. Now of course you could have used 2 tank tops as one sleeve, and you can gather all the way around. It's your preference, it's your money, it's your imagination. Once I pinned the bottom and the top portion seams, I then started to gather. All I did was grab my thread and pulled and pulled and pulled. I don't think I really showed that in this clip right here, but I just pulled and I made sure that it was about even on both sides. Now, if you need to unpin the top portion and gather, go ahead and do that and just pin it back. Since you flip the second tank top upside down, you have 3 holes. You have 2 holes where the arms go and one hole where the neck or the head neck area would go. So you have to do something with that. So what I ended up doing is all I did was stitch each section closed. Some of those portions it'll make like almost a angular shape. So I want to make sure that I sewed some of that out, because it would just make a point in your sleeve that you didn't want or that you don't want to see. You should be able to see briefly what I'm talking about in this clip where I pinned all my sections. And of course I left a little section for an opening where my arm would go. I love this because it was so easy. I didn't have to hem anything, which I love, because hemming can be a pain in the booty. If you know, you know. Like I said, I am not a professional, so the bottom portion isn't made, you know, exactly as it should. But like I said, this is $2.50, maybe a little bit more for some people. Normally with regular fabric, you wouldn't have these 3 holes cut out at the bottom. So if you can see right here, the ending of my top does have a few stitch marks. I mean, like I said, it's going to have that you wouldn't normally have on a regular top made such as this, but you can't see it. Can you see this? I mean, maybe a little bit, but who's really looking that hard? So after you sew the bottom portions, cut them off and make sure that you keep your scraps. You're gonna need them. Before I got into this little extra detailing that you see right here, I was just gonna have the sleeve and the tank top, but it literally looked like a sleeve, an extra sleeve added to a tank top. So I wasn't going for that look. I just wanted a little more drama, if you would say. So I took some of the scraps that I cut off at the end after I sewed it together. I took some of my scraps, ended up making a little tie so that it'll give me a little more of an effect. Of course, if you wanted to go with something else, I really wanted like a gold something right here, but I couldn't find anything that I just already had readily available around the house. And of course, I wanted to stick to as many Dollar Tree items as possible. So the scraps were just fine. It's not that much that I use. And like I said, a little bit more drama, a lot of pizzazz, I would say, in my opinion. And I think it's very cute. And so this is how it ended up coming out. Like I said before, make sure that you stay tuned for my How I Styled It video. And I'll show you how I upgraded just this top that I made and turned it into an entire outfit. Now, if you like this video, come closer. Don't tell nobody this. But tell everybody that Ava's Flair is on the move. And I want you to be a part of it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow. Make sure you tell your friends, your mama, your sister, your cousin, your uncle, whoever, wherever. Tell them, let them know. We got a lot of ideas coming to you. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.